This is Times Drive. I'm Joel Pereira, and if you watch this show long enough, you'd know what really blows our skirts up. Horsepower and plenty of it. You've often seen us drooling over V8 engines, and here is telling you about sub 5 second 0 to 100 sprint timings. And then we go ahead and tell you that these exotic cars cost umpteen zillion rupees, and it all comes crashing down. Nope, what we're talking about today are cars that occupy a niche segment. Cars that just don't get you from one place to another with comfort and economy, but autos where the driver is more important than the guy in the back seat, where driving moves away from transportation to fun. Expensive cars have the fun element stitched in, but do you need to be loaded to drive such a car? But that doesn't mean that you need to be some sort of film star or drug lord to enjoy your driving experience. What we've done is put together a list of the top driving cars that you can get for less than 10 lakh rupees. And by 10 lakh rupees, I mean final bill. None of that misleading ex-showroom rubbish. Like the Volkswagen Polo 1.6 over here. What you've got is a 400cc boost, but 40 extra horsepower. Now that's always a good thing. And what a difference the extra horsepower makes. 105 bhp from the 75 of the regular 1.2 Polo and a 0 to 100 time of about 12 seconds. That number might not seem huge, but it's the way this car jumps from standstill that's very fun. Acceleration is almost straight line, and more importantly, this car sounds like there's something potent under the hood. Add to that the nice tight chassis and an almost perfect driver dynamic that allows you to push harder around corners. And you've got a car that's set up to give you the jollies. Price 6,42,000. Almost identical to the Polo is the Fabia 1.6, the hot version of the otherwise staid hatch from Skoda. Getting the same 1.6 engine you'll find in the Polo 1.6 and the larger Vento, this little car jumps from 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds and hits an even 100 in about 12. Again, doesn't sound especially fast, but put into the context of the other hatches out there, and the Fabia 1.6 is practically a race car. What's even more impressive is the way this car handles, reminding you constantly that yes, this car is German. And that means that like the Polo, driving dynamics are almost perfect. This one will cost you a sticker price of about 6,15,000 rupees. And then there's the Fiesta Classic, which is basically the low rent make space for the new version of the Fiesta. What we love about this car is the torque, 146 Newton meters, low down at 3,200 RPMs. All you need to do is punch the throttle and the Fiesta jumps off. And then there's the handling, stiff and set up for a joyride. Hit a corner and the Fiesta won't let you down. The top-end Fiesta can be yours for 8 lakh rupees, well short of our 10 lakh rupee cutoff. Back when this car was in its prime, we thought that the sport variant was the best driver's car this side of the 3 Series. And things really haven't changed with the Classic. The 15-inch wheels might have been replaced by 14 inches and the interiors have been downgraded somewhat to cut costs. But the peppy 101 bhp 1.6 litre petrol and that taut, tight suspension remains the same. That, my friend, is a joy. All the cars you've seen till now have been petrols, but if you're looking to make your fun a little less expensive, you could consider the Fiat Punto 90. It's got the same 1.3 litre diesel engine as with the standard, but with a tweaked turbo. You're now getting 90 brake horsepower, 15 more than the regular 75. This is a car where the increased numbers don't make themselves apparent immediately, not while driving in the city, but as the torque kicks in through the mid-range at speeds higher than 70 km per hour, this is the perfect flat-out or long-drive car. You've also got the almost flat suspension setup, and cornering on the Punto means negligible body roll. Price 6,93,000 ex-showroom, which means an on-road price of less than 8 lakhs, depending on where you live.
Now when I was a little boy, at the age of 5, I had something in my pocket, keeps a lot of folks alive. Now I'm a man,
All the other cars you've seen so far are just hot versions of regular cars, but the Mahindra Thar is an entirely different animal. This is not a car, it's a lifestyle statement, telling the world that you are bigger and badder than everyone around you. What you got under that long bonnet is a 2.5-litre common rail diesel putting out 106 bhp, which does not sound huge, but there is a 247 Newton meters of torque that you can access at the low engine speed of 1800 rpm. And then there's the kicker, the off-roading capacity, which is especially raging. You've got 4-wheel drive, automatic hub lock, and the 4-wheel drive transfer case comes from the transfer case specialist, Borg Warner. So what you get is a manually shiftable 4 high and 4 low mode. And added to the amount of torque that this engine carries, you're going to be able to drag yourself out of any situation you find yourself in. You're sitting very high up in the Thar, but that's because of the massive 200mm ground clearance, and then there's the 46-degree approach angle and 16-inch alloy wheels. Price 6,20,000 rupees, but then you need to factor in the hardtop, the AC and the stereo. So we're looking at a combined price of about 9 lakhs. Trust us, it's worth the investment.